Hello crafty friends, it's Lori with Art Lab Designs. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and thanks for joining me. I am going to show you the cards that I made with either the entire September 2019 Simon Says Stamp card kit or with parts from the kit. And this is one of the ones I did with just parts from the kit. I used some of the gold foil paper that came with the kit, and I used some of the design paper that came with the kit. Everything else, though, is from my stash. So the embossing on the gold is a keyboard, a typewriter keyboard, and that's an embossing folder I had in my stash, as is the typewriter with the hello. But I really like this combination. I think it looks kind of modern and interesting. And on the inside it just says, "You're amazing," and that's from the September stamp set that came with the kit, as is the hello. And I'm not going to show you what came in the kit simply because there are so many other people and companies, including Simon Says Stamp, who show you what comes in the kit and do it much better than I would. So if you're interested in knowing, I will link the Simon Says Stamp September 2019 card kit intro, if you will, down below. So I made this card completely from the kit except for the card base. This was some of the pattern paper and I stamped directly on it. It's clouds and sky. And I used what are supposed to be stems for some flowers. I linked them together and made some branches and stamped some leaves from the kit as well as the little birds, and then colored everything with alcohol markers and stamped "Hang in There, Friend" on the front, and used some Nuvo crystal drops here and there and everywhere. I use way more than I usually do. And then on the inside it says, "Everything will be okay." And this card base is just some cardstock that I had in my stash, and it's a really deep green. I know it probably looks black, but it's a really, really dark hunter green. This one primarily came from what was included in the kit. So there was some red cardstock. I used that, but I used my own embossing folder that matched this pattern paper. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got the circles with the curvy sort of leaf pattern, and I was like, oh, that would go great with this paper. So the paper is definitely from the kit, and so is the sentiment. "Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams you dare to dream really do come true." I will not sing that because you will change the channel, so to speak. And then I adorned it with some yellow sequins. And then on the inside, "Look for the rainbows." This next card was a lot of work. It's all from the kit. Everything that you see is from the kit. So the flowers, which I colored with alcohol markers, the stems and leaves, and the gold butterfly. And I'm not sure if it's too busy, but I sort of like it. The paper came with the kit, and I thought that it would look good with the dimensional flowers, which I popped up on some foam, would look really good. And then I just stamped "Hello" on a little white banner. And these little faceted crystals, hopefully you can see them in the light, came with the kit, and I really like them. And those are from Nuvo, by the way. I really like the way the facets catch the light. And then on the inside I included another piece of that pattern paper and stamped "Sending a bouquet of happy thoughts." And here's another one that uses that same sentiment from the earlier card. I used some rainbow paper that is very soft and watercolory in the back, and then I, on a piece of vellum, stamped the "Somewhere over the rainbow" sentiment. And these little sparkly stars came with the kit. It was a pack of stars, hearts, and circles that are all sparkly like this in a colorway that matches all of the paper from the kit. And "May you find a rainbow of happiness." And I used that dark green cardstock again that's from my stash. It just really seemed to go with a couple of things this time. So hopefully I'm not blinding you with this one. This is some of the metallic cardstock that came with the kit. It's the like pinkish purplish color, and this sort of doily or mandala embossing folder is one from my stash. I just wanted to try it out with the metallic because metallic papers pick up embossing so beautifully. So I kept it really simple. I didn't even put sequins or Nuvo drops or anything. I feel like this totally speaks for itself. I put it on a lavender card base from my stash, but I did use stamps from the kit. It says, "Thinking of you, you're on my mind and in my heart." Here's another thinking of you, and this is done with papers from the card kit. Kind of a graph paper, I guess, and this one is the graph paper with birds on it and a little striped pattern at the bottom. And then I used some of the gold, kind of a muted gold. There was like a more of a brassy gold also, but this gold with one of my embossing folders that are in my stash. And then I finished it off with some Nuvo stone drops in teal. And on the inside, "You're on my mind and in my heart." And don't tell anybody, but this was a mistake. I meant to glue this piece of paper down here, so when you open the card, it would be something you could write on. And I somehow managed to glue it on the back of the front of the card. So I just left it and went ahead and stamped here because, as you can see, it's readable. And I figured if somebody wanted to write a note, there's a space up there for them to do so. This one is very floral. Oops, sorry about that. Dropped my phone. This is everything. This is all from the kit. So, pattern paper. There is an arc of flowers in the stamp set, so I stamped it twice, once at the top, once at the bottom, and used alcohol inks to color it. And the copper colored foil paper is also from the kit, as is this embossing folder, which is called Kaleidoscope. And I think it's a Sizzix Tim Holtz maybe branded embossing folder. But I really like the way this turned out. At first I wasn't sure, but I think it came out nicely. And I stamped "Thinking of you" on the front and sending a bouquet of happy thoughts inside. And this cardstock is also from my stash. I think it's called Pencil Eraser, the color. And I think it's from Simon Says Stamp as well. And it came in a package that included what they called school colors. So like number 2 pencil, pencil eraser, chalkboard. I can't remember what else, but there were like 4 or 5 colors in the pack. This one was also done with things from the card kit, completely with things from the card kit except the sequins. So even the card base. So this beautiful black and white butterfly paper, and then this was a cut apart of a butterfly. And then I just used some gold sequins that came in a kit earlier this year to kind of add a little sparkle. And I popped up the butterfly on some foam. And everything will be okay. And that's true. Everything will always be okay. And then the cardstock is, I think it's Audrey Blue, which came with the kit. And then I have this one, Escape the Ordinary. Again, this was a cut apart that was part of one of the pieces of pattern paper. Here's another piece of pattern paper. I thought these went together really nicely. And then I used some sort of aqua tealish stars that came with some kit a long time ago. I've had them in my stash for a long time. Put it all on an Audrey Blue card base. And the inside says, "Look for the rainbows." And by the way, I've had a couple of people ask me about the stamp I use on the back of my cards to brand them. I think I got this from Etsy. Unfortunately, I got it so long ago that I can't even find it in my orders on Etsy, but I'm pretty sure that's where I ordered it from. And if you do a search in Etsy for custom stamps or custom rubber stamps or something like that, you should be able to find something similar, if not this, this particular design. And finally, oh, not finally, sorry, I have a couple more. I tricked you. This is all pattern paper and cardstock and faceted gems from the kit. This dark blue with the black design I thought would look really good popped up on red, which I think it does. And then this Loved Beyond Words was actually at the bottom of a piece of pattern paper. And I used some of those faceted Nouveau crystals to add a little sparkle to the card. And inside I included a piece of pattern paper. Once again, I meant to glue it down here, but I glued it at the top, but that's okay. We'll pretend that didn't happen. And it just says thank you. And by the way, I bought a new tool about a month ago or 6 weeks ago because it was so cheap. It was like $3, and it's a perforation tool. And what I did was I perforated this piece of paper. I'm not going to bend it all the way up, but there's a perforation line right here. So whoever receives this can actually tear off the Loved Beyond Words sentiment and put it on their bulletin board or use it as a bookmark or whatever they might like to do with it. And I don't know if you can see the perforation mark right there. But it's a cool little tool. It's a Tim Holtz tool. It's very tiny. It flips out kind of like a pocket knife. And then you roll it across the paper and it makes a very fine micro perforation. Very cool. And then I have just a few more cards, one of which is totally from the kit, and the other ones are a little less so. Actually, they're mostly not so. So maybe I'll include those in a different video. At any rate, so this is, I think, the last card that I'll show today. This one completely from the kit except for the sequins. So pattern paper tags, the little bird that says, "Live for the moments you can't put into words." And I just thought all these colors made a really nice combination. And I put all of this on a dark blue card base from my stash and stamped in dark blue, sending a bouquet of happy thoughts, and added those pretty gold sequins that again came from a kit earlier this year. Alright, so that is it. I think that's 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it's 12 cards actually. I made 12 cards with this month's kit, using the supplies in the kit, but also a few things from my stash. And I still have, of course, the stamp set, which was very pretty. It's, flowers and birds and a couple of sentiments, a few sentiments. I still have a few scraps of the pattern paper. I still have 3 full sheets of the metallic cardstock that are pink, blue, and green, and then most of the purple left. And what else? I think that's it. Oh, and the embossing folder, of course, which will never get old. I love embossing. Alright, so thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that this gave you some ideas for your own September 2019 Simon Says stamp card kit. And if you have any questions or any comments, please put them in the description or in the comment box below. I'll include a link to my Instagram and my Etsy shop in the description. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Bye.